Hi, Patrick here. I have Cheetah Will View, and we are here doing another TUBI review for you. We watched this movie on TUBI, and we're going to go ahead and share our thoughts about it. It's actually a film that I've already known about, and I've actually talked to the filmmakers on 8 Questions With, and I've actually seen this movie already a couple of times, but I realized I have not reviewed it. So that's what I'm going to do now. And the film that we're going to be talking about today is from 2022, and it is called I'm Haunted. I'm Haunted is a stars Elizabeth Chamberlain as Genesis Brady, Emily Ann Salkeld as Blythe. It also has Jamie Hill as the Giggling Girl's voice, and some other fine Edmonton actors. Is written and directed, and even has a small cameo in it by Brandon Rhiness. So I love this movie. I love this movie in the fact that 90% of the movie, maybe 85% of the movie is on Genesis. And what we see is she is being haunted in her apartment. She's making videos, like she makes content for her social media channel, and so she starts keeping a diary of what's happening to her, and things paranormal start happening to this young lady in her apartment. Probably didn't help that she lived on the 13th floor, right? Um, so she's explaining to this all on camera, like things that are happening to her. She hears knocking on the walls. She hears bumps in the night. I mean, and it slowly is progressing. It slowly is progressing. And what's really chilling about this too is that the fact that everybody that has contact with Genesis on any level, except for a couple of people, things happen to them. And when I initially watched that, when I initially watched this movie, I sort of did not see that. But rewatching that, I noticed that and went like, wow, it seems like everybody that she comes in contact with, and not just the obvious main supporting characters, but other characters as well, things seem to be happening to them. It goes from being sort of lighthearted in the first half of the movie to being a little bit more heavier in the last, and then in a really nice, and I have to admit it made me laugh. The very last scene, it really has a pop to it. Um, but uh, uh, but it's interesting watching this young lady Genesis slowly starting to crumble. At first she can't comprehend what's happening to her. Her friends are abandoning her. She doesn't know why. She's having a hard time getting a job. She doesn't know why. All her friends have quit calling her. One friend accused her of stealing her ID, and it really seems like anybody that is related to Genesis or in Genesis in a circle they're being pushed out. She's becoming increasingly isolated by this entity, and she's first she doesn't really know what to do, but then she decides that she's going to fight back. So she tries to fight back, and she contacts one of her best friends that they had a falling out on, and she finds her and says, like, can we talk? And then she finds out from her friend that, well, her friend was hurt at her, and so her friend, uh, 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 she did something she shouldn't have, and now it's affecting a lot more people than just Genesis. And we briefly see a little bit of Blythe. We get to meet her a little bit, and we see what she has done, and we see some of the fallout of what she has done has come knocked on her door as well. But this is mostly Elizabeth Chamberlain's movie as Genesis. She is freaking adorable. That's for one thing. Her Genesis is she's a really interesting character. What I liked about this movie, and while it didn't come quite as far as Tom Hardy movie, um, Drive, um, it didn't quite as come. It didn't quite get there as far as just being the only character that you see on screen. Um, but it comes pretty damn close, and it's a tour de force in acting. And we see Genesis, and we see her emotions go up and down, and she even tries to bargain with the entity as well that's haunting her. She did nothing wrong. It's not one of those things where she went off and ripped off a graveyard or she cursed somebody or she's just an innocent victim here, and she's totally out of her depth and she has no idea what's causing this. And even when she has an idea what's causing this, she still stays in the fight. She still tries to try to find out why this entity is coming to her and her alone, and causing her all this trouble. And she doesn't really realizes that it's not just her. It's a you know it's a there's a lot of people that are affected by this whole thing. Um, what really would have been interesting for me for this movie is that once they broke just the camera being on Genesis 100% of the time. Um, I like the idea. I like the idea quite a bit of adding the young lady who played Blythe to give a little bit of context exactly what these girls were facing. We see Genesis, and we don't know if it's all in her head or not. Because she's so isolated, and is it all in her head? I mean, is nobody else seeing what she's seeing or experiencing? Well, then when they introduced Blythe to the movie, Brandon, who wrote the movie, when he introduces her, and then we see from a different perspective, we see that Genesis is quite sane, but she is quite haunted. And I love this movie. I thought this movie was very well thought of. I thought it was well written and wonderfully acted. And it is the first of a trilogy. There's I'm Haunted 2, and the brand new movie called I'm Haunted 3 it's just been released. So I'm going to do my best to bring you all three movies that I can. I believe I can get them all on YouTube, and I'll watch them and give you my thoughts. I'll also give you the links to the movie on TUBI. You can go over and watch it for free over there as well. I'm Haunted. You can watch it for free over there. And higher Universal also it also will have movies for you to buy if you want to do that as well. I'll put the link in their site down in below in the description box. All right. I really enjoyed it. I thought the camera work was great. I thought it looked exactly like a young girl just struggling to make it. I loved the fact that she didn't have a lavish apartment. It looked very much like a starving student type of apartment. I thought that was a really good aesthetic. I appreciated that a lot. It's like, okay, so she's just hanging on. She's just trying to feel her way around. You do really feel sorry for Genesis. You really do. It's like I said, it's nothing that she did. Most of these type of supernatural movies, it's always someone fooling around with something they shouldn't have, and they always reap it upon themselves. But it's interesting to make note that this didn't happen. She's just an unfortunate victim in this. I do know, without spoiling anything, because I can't spoil it because I haven't seen it yet. But I do know that we will be seeing Genesis again, and I'm glad because I think she's a really interesting character, and I think Elizabeth Chamberlain is a bright star, and I think she has a very bright future. And she's a lot of fun to watch, and the camera really likes her, and she's skilled. She's really good. All right, that's my review for I'm Haunted. I'm going to put this up on Tubi, and you should be able to see that sometime on Tuesday. All right, thanks so much for watching, and drop a comment down below if you've seen I'm Haunted, and share your feelings. Talk to you soon. Peace.